What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Not all goldfish are created equal. What the hell does that mean? Let's bring in the co-host. Craig, you gave me the topic. What in the hell are you talking about?
Oh, shit, I don't know, man. I just pulled it out of my... No, really, actually. Just, it's a fun book. Blue Goldfish. Huh? You guys know I like to read a lot, and you can learn stuff. And so, yeah, it's a great comparison. It's analogous to our brokers and the agencies that they run. And so it's just and it's got a lot of other things in it. This was just one chapter, but I thought it was appropriate. And so it just said that, the goldfish are affected by 5 factors. And I thought it was very apropos, very similar to a broker in their market, in their region, in their state, and the predicaments that they have and the busyness of the way it looks. For those of you who haven't heard Dr. Nido Qubein talk, he's the president of High Point University, where I was lucky enough to speak at several years ago. And this man he converted a cesspool into probably one of the 3 highest demand universities in the United States. He's got a global waiting list of people who want to send their kids there, and all of the corporate America wanting to provide jobs to the graduates. And so he had a great line. He said, there's oceans of sameness out there. And so one of your many challenges is to how to be different. And so he said, there's oceans of sameness, there's lakes of differentiation, and there's pools of distinction. And so part of your job, part of your role in becoming a professional is to figure out how to shine in a pool of distinction, because from the buyer's perspective, frankly, most of us look like an ocean of sameness. So this little story about...
On that topic for a second, We're talking about pools. Show sponsor Virtue Health. If you want to join a private pool for your clients, check us out, virtuealliance.com. You got the public pools. We got the private one. There's a little differentiation.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, all those groups you want to underwrite 50 to 150 with no claims data, we now can do it. No more IMQs, baby. If you're doing IMQs, it's a thing of the past.
Wow.
Thank the Lord. If you're watching on the show, YouTube, Facebook, go ahead and put in the chat below. We are using the StreamYard system, so you're going to have to grant permissions to show your name on here. We don't know who's saying it. Hello, but we don't know who that is. Go ahead, Craig. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no problem. For those of us, who might be new to the self-funded marketplace, why don't you explain what an IMQ is?
I don't know if I want to for new people. No, I'm kidding. IMQ, individual medical questionnaire. So those of you that don't know, when you're trying to convert a group from fully insured to self-funding, and there's no claims data available, groups 25 to 125, depending on your market, California up to 350, they want you to fill out medical questionnaires to see if they have medical conditions, because they're taking risks. So with a newer technology, we now have gotten approved where we can underwrite them based on 5,000 AI data points. You know all that shit you sign up for, Craig, when you click the box and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all that shit, all that stuff you buy on your credit card, every little thing that you do is sold to other companies. All that data, big data, is now big oil, right? So when you buy a camera, you're going to get hit with Facebook ads for camera accessories. If you are not of the healthiest person of weight, I should say, not the healthiest weight, and you go to McDonald's and use your credit card, that information is sold. So we now know you may be an overweight diabetic that eats fast food and doesn't go to the gym. So your scoring is tiered based on that. So there's a lot of things that we know about you. And I think there was a special on Netflix about big data and just everything you're connected to. All those things, that little button you always select, the checkbox. Hey, we're going to look and use everything for you and against you, or whatever it is, to sell you shit. That's what you're doing, and that's what we're using now. Which makes
Netflix has a great show on that too, on social media. If you guys haven't watched it, you've got to watch that to scare the hell out of you if you have children, as it should. You seen that one, John?
Yeah, I watched it. It was on Big Data.
Oh my God, yeah, really, really intense. So back to the goldfish, the 5 factors, right? So picture yourself, you're in a market. We all have lots of competitors. You all have lots of competitors. And so the size of the bowl will determine the size of the goldfish. And the more competition there is for food, the more it will inhibit the size of your book of business. So if you're in a, small town, rural, and most of your employers are 2 to 100, and most of your book is 2 to 25, and everybody's feeding on the same stuff, you have to figure out how to break out of that and learn to become comfortable on 25 to 100. Or if you're in the under 100 market, you got to get comfortable doing the 100 plus, and so on and so on. It's the only way to expand your book of business. If you're only selling micro groups of 2 to 25, you can only grow your $300,000 book incrementally. You need to get in that 100 plus market where you might do 30, 40, 50K on one case. And so that's the way that you expand your book of business, right? So that you're not stuck in that little itty bitty goldfish bowl. Otherwise, you're always going to be limited.
And we're talking the 5 factors, what you can control, what you can't control. So let's go through them. And you're talking market,
Sure.
Craig, here for a second. Yeah. And we talked to some of the brokers that are in not so sexy markets for especially self-funding. If you're going in for that, you also got to take into account, is this a market that's over flooded with self-funding? You look at maybe the Indian market, the Wisconsin market, a little further down the road on self-funding. So you can't just go in with traditional self-funding. You're going to want to talk a little bit more advanced and how you're going to get to the next step. So understanding your market condition is important. Somebody asked me today about Alabama. Not a good market. They don't even pay brokers in that market. So understanding your market, if you're going with a shtick, be careful where you're doing it. So yeah, I think that was it. That's all.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah. The second factor is your competition, right? Can't control it. You should learn who they are, right? Knowing the strengths or the pitch or the package that the competition provides your prospects is a great advantage. You should, build a due diligence folder on those different renewals. We've all had the case. You go in and they like you and they're going to hire you. And what do? They hand you the work product of the incumbent. John, you ever had that happen? I mean, that's kind of a dream thing where they just put it on a plate for you.
Oh yeah, when they like you a little bit better and they give it to you. I was talking to an advisor today, and yeah, I mean, they were just talking about nobody is really educating. Everything they're talking about up there is PBM rebates. Funny enough, we're not surprised because you say it all the time. That's what they sell on. I mean, one of the bigger carriers I was on a call with the other day, I should say independent TPA. I think they're the number 1 or 2. We're not going to mention names, but their whole story was as a TPA, how they're going to get rebates through their pharmacy contract. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah. So understanding, I would say what the competition is talking about, having their playbook is helpful. I always like to ask in the meetings or prior to the meeting, have they had discussions around X, Y, or Z? And then right away, what are your thoughts about that? Because the last thing you want to be doing is again, pitching a solution that they've already heard and they don't like. You could pitch them the same solution. You just might have to say it in a different way. The other guy may have screwed it up. Right. I remember I was pitching Syra one time and I'd asked him, I just went in to pitch Syra, but I'd asked him what he'd been presented and just talked to him about, well, great. What didn't you like about it? And then I wasn't pitching that solution, but I was pitching Syra. So I knew everything that I may have said that I was going to use for Syra, and I had to change the way I was going to sell it to him because those points didn't work for him. So just different way to spin it here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bill Schmaltz says, happy Friday Eve. Jeff Turner says, what's up, guys? Back after 5 weeks of that damn stuff, COVID. Oh, good to see you back, Jeff. You made it. Let's see if anybody else will admit to having COVID. I had it almost a year ago. Brad says, hello from East Texas. Mark Fox from, the hell is Mark out in the South there in Georgia area, I believe. So go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, so the third area is the quality of the water inside the fishbowl. Now that in our world means the economy. Can we control the economy? No. But oh my God, is it going to be good for business this year? I think you guys, and you, if you didn't watch our show a few weeks ago, the Biden economy, the new Biden care, ACA adjustments, and all of that uncertainty should be fantastic for business. Really good.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys aren't calling and booking meetings, and I hear from some of you saying we're struggling with meetings, you scare them to death with Biden care. That will get you a meeting. And it doesn't matter what you say to get the meeting. I always say that. They never remember anyway. By the time you have the meeting, they don't remember. That's just an open to utilize. This was like Affordable Care Act when I came into the business that was happening. So it just creates massive opportunity. COVID changes virtual workers. How are you dealing with that? Just so many different things that you can utilize to create appointments.
Our show last week, right? PEPYP. It's a great conversation starter, right? Today we were talking to somebody and the guy's like, well, we only make like $6,000 or $7,000 in profit per employee. I was on a call today with a broker in Florida, manufacturers, and it was like, well, Jesus, what are you going to do if you get a 30% bump on your insured premiums? I mean, it's going to have a dramatic impact on the small profit you make. And so that's a different conversation, and that's how you get out of the bowl. That's how you differentiate, and you have a pool of distinction, because the rest of your people are talking about, if I could save you 20 to 40%, is there any reason why we couldn't get together? I know your X date is this, and they're going to show up and throw up and talk about features and benefits and shiny objects and DPC and RBP and PBMs, and I mean, they're just going to just cloud these person's brain, and they're going to just shoot that fire hose and go, look how smart I am, look how smart I am, and they're going to just overwhelm the people. And what happens in 80% of the pitches? No change. Status quo remains the same. And so this is your opportunity. It doesn't come around that often. So you have a natural conversation that you should be able to have about the Biden Affordable Care Act changes and what that could mean, and the tax changes. What kind of impact does a potential 21% to 28% or 31% corporate tax mean to you? You know, when it went into place and Trump put it in and cut corporate taxes to 21%, many corporations gave employees bonuses saying, hey, we're going to share the wealth. Did you do that? What's going to happen when it increases? Well, we're going to cost shift more on healthcare. I mean, people are already dying with that. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think the conversation we had last week is something to go in on targeting industries, because they have to be hurting more than ever, right? Tighter margins leads to more opportunity, I think. And, maybe they're not, you got to be careful. They're not the best prospect right now, all of them that are going under. But if you have one that, is somewhere borderline in the supply chain, and that's a core part of their business, there may be a lot of opportunity for savings. In talking to our marketing partner, booking all the meetings, people are very receptive. Tomorrow on the Hunters Club call, you'll hear from Mark and I believe Joe Fox. The guys have booked like 30 meetings in the last 30 days.
Damn.
So, people are willing to talk. You just got to get on the phone and talk to them. In my conversations with advisors this week and last, the answer, the question I always ask is, how many people did you get in front of last year? And the answer usually is not enough. But the next question is, well, how much time or money did you spend marketing? And it's, nothing. So I don't understand it. I understand why the correlation between closed accounts, meetings, and then activity. And then you ask yourself, how do I do something better? Well, guess what? Virtue Health's shiny object, which we've got a great program, it's not going to help you if you don't get in front of people. So that's my 2 cents in rant.
That's gold right there, man.
It's frustrating talking to guys over and over that want to grow their block. They want to do self-funding or what have you, but they don't get in front of anybody. And then it's, well, what do you spend on it?
How much do you invest in yourself on marketing? Nothing. That's a direct correlation between your outcomes and what you invest.
I'm not even talking about marketing for themselves and their brand and all that other shit. So when the prospect actually looks them up, guys, I've got my new executive assistant.
I'm not talking about that either. That's just that's extra if they care to do that. I
got Kate doing some implementation or adding stuff to the newer CRM, and she's like, "Whoo!" I looked at that guy's LinkedIn. It was horrific. I'm like, that's what the buyers are looking at, guys. Look at your LinkedIn profile. Ask yourself, would you do business with you? Oh. If you were going to get your taxes done and you're looking for a good tax strategist or accountant, would you buy from you? I see some of your LinkedIn pictures. Guys, simple stuff. That doesn't even cost you money. Just fix it. Go get somebody on Upwork to fix the background picture. Something, please. Yeah. Maybe invest in yourself a little bit to get you some credibility. But that's just one thing. That's branding, because everybody's going to look you up. The point that I'm trying to make, and Craig is trying to make, is investing in marketing. Some of these are just, well, somebody said the other day when I said how much a marketing program costs, I said, that sounds like a lot. I said, compared to what? What is that a lot compared to? What do you think it costs to generate leads? Do you know what do they call it? The products acquisition cost?
Yeah. The CAC, customer acquisition cost. That's how every SaaS company, that's numbers that they track. Real companies track their numbers. Agencies don't, because they don't, most of them don't do any marketing, right? Well, we work centers of influence, we get referrals. Yeah, but if remember, guys, gals, trend is 6%. Don't delude yourself into saying we have a 96% persistency. Every agency does, because your clients default to the status quo. If you don't screw it up, they probably aren't leaving you. And then you get a 6% bump, and then you try to say that you guys grow organically by, 6 or 8% a year. No, that's called trend. You didn't grow. And so, what typically happens is most of the agents in an agency are farmers, and they might lose a case, and they work hard enough to get one, maybe get a couple, and that's it. And then they're just managing their lifestyle. They're comfortable, and that's cool. That's all great. But there's never been an opportunity like we have this year for you to go out and crush it. And as I've told you guys all before, and you tell yourselves these little lies in your head, I can't go after a 500-man group.
Guys, look at yourself in a mirror, and Craig said it. Hold the mirror up and look at yourself. I had an advisor tell me the other day that he closes 50% of business, 99% retention rate, and 30+% growth every year. Come on. It's just a lie, I mean, look yourself in the mirror and realize, what did you do last year? Now, look, it's just some people that are doing great, and that's great. You probably don't need to hear it from us, but everybody needs a little bit of a push here,
Yeah, there's a lot of peacocking going on in this industry.
Yeah, we're all lying to ourselves. We tend to be in an industry where everybody gets to tell you how big it is, but they don't have to show you, right? So, let's not lie to ourselves here, because it seems like that's what we do in this industry. Who's this says, you want us to have a tax conversation with HR? No way. Jared Meyer says, last 2 episodes were good, fellas. Thank you. Spend a few bucks on a good headset. Yeah, I mean, if your audio quality sucks, your video, your background, this one's newer.
Yeah.
Just not a good look. If you're looking up your nose, how many people I get on the call with, and you're looking up their nose, and it's, guys, eye level right here. Don't put your camera on your laptop, because you're looking up on the nose. Just get a stand for the thing, eye level, get some lighting, look professional, stand up. Right now, I'm on a stand-up desk. You can move around, persuade, and talk a lot better when you're standing up, in my opinion. Simple.
People notice. I like this sign right here, right? So I change that background all the time to different movies that I've helped produce, and people notice. They go, "Oh, I always like doing a call with you because I always want to ask you what. All right, so what is that thing behind you? What did you do?" And so have fun with that, but have a professional background because people make decisions about those kind of things. Ray Kober. I moved from Alabama to Florida. No income tax and postcard beaches. Double win. Oh, that's Mark.
Yeah, no state income tax. Little beach. Not quite the Florida, but not quite the Cali weather, but it's still nice. Not like
True
the weather back east. Dan LeBroad said, "What's up? Keep the axe sharp here." What else we got, Craig?
Hey, number 4 on the 5 factors that can affect your business. The first 120 days of life. Well, that's pretty goldfish specific, right? But the whole idea is that the lower the quality of the food and the treatment and the experience of the goldfish will be stunted for future growth. Well, it's not any different than what do you guys put into your brains, right? Are you reading the ICRA regs and then going to, the vendors and then talking about, reviewing one of the 26 map providers out there and then, making decisions about which TPA and which PBM and which PPO and all this stuff that distracts you from doing more marketing or the stuff you put in your brain, right? So do you listen to Heads Up Advisor shows? We do drop some gold here and there that shortens the learning curve, right? So people who take action, there's an amazing correlation, John, between the people who listen to our shows and take action, and then they email us and they call us and they thank us and they write us and they go, "Damn, it worked." Have you ever had any of those, John?
Yeah, I'm just getting ready for a Zoom meeting. How do I look here? Is this good?
Yeah.
Man, am I in line? Is there too much head space here?
I think you could land a plane on that forehead.
Oh, back it off. Easy. Somebody says, Craig, did you produce Entourage, the HBO show? Great show.
I did not, but we did name our our national champion paintball team Entourage. Yeah, we were Dynasty Entourage. DYNESTY. Yeah. And so that was the opening, chant that the guys would give before the buzzer went off and put fear into people's minds. And that was half the battle. We had already won before the game even started.
We're just trying to help you. I know we talk a little, I guess a little bit of sarcasm because we're just like you. We were an advisor. So many guys, they're doing business with, 6 captives, have their own captives, and they're calling me for help. And I'm like, what are you calling me for? Are you just bored and don't want to prospect? Because your solutions aren't your problem. The problem is you don't have enough people to talk about your solutions to. So
it's everybody's problem. We all need more prospects. That's it. It solves everything. Yeah. Facebook user. I need to get a paintball gun suggestion from you, Craig. Dude, yeah, I'm 10 years removed, brother. So I'm sure it's probably the same gun manufacturers as before. But I can tell you, you can't tell from that jersey, but we played all over the world, man. My son had some of the fastest fingers on earth. He could shoot 25 balls a second because his fingers could move so fast on the trigger. And when you stood behind him, it looked like there was a rope. And so, nobody could move on the field once he locked him down. So yeah, go have some fun.
So they got a lot of mentorship and they had a lot of practice to beat the competition. What happened when they didn't practice that week?
That never happened. All 4 years of high school, my son practiced. He wanted to practice. These kids from 15 to 20, they wanted to be the best. And they competed against men who were 23 to 33 years old, and they were teenagers. Well, when you're wearing a mask and this full body gear, you can't tell how old somebody is. But when they take the masks off, the people would be like, "You got to be shitting me. Who the hell are these kids?" Well, they were badass is what they were. And they trained and trained and trained so that when they got on the field, they didn't have to think, they could react. And so other people were interested in playing paintball, but our kids were committed. And there's a world of difference. And the same thing exists in business. Every broker out there, look, most of you are interested in doing better, but very few of you are committed. And the difference means 2 zeros to your net worth. Period. End of story.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, God, the last 2 weeks talked to a lot of guys, and what do we always say? No judgment. You growing your business, you cruising. Simple question, simple answer. Most say they're trying to do it, but they're usually not. Some of you guys are hungry. Some are getting some new life, and we love it. Went to a new organization. They got to sell. The pressure's on, or they sold their agency, right? Roll up, getting an earn out. God, that's lighting some fire under their ass.
Man, I've never seen anybody's ass on fire more than guys trying to get their earn out, right? They're cutting overhead to increase their EBITDA. They're trying to call their buddies and go, dude, sell me your agency. Yeah.
Show me the money.
Yeah.
What else here we got? Keep it short. Keep it short today. I got a little move and I got a little party to go to at a gallery in Laguna Beach. I'm fancy out here, hang out with all those rich folks in Orange County.
Man,
I drive up with the nice car, but it looks like not so nice compared to some of the cars there.
And then, I'll tell you a little inside baseball. John's flying out somebody from the East Coast to interview him, right? Tour him, test drive, potentially hire her. And so, we'll see how that goes. Y'all might have somebody else who's a lot better looking to talk to than John. And so I think we'd all be thankful for that. What do you think, John?
Jeez, right. Yes, sir.
I didn't even have any wine tonight. I've just got a little coffee buzz going. Hey, so the fifth factor for these damn goldfish, right? It's all about differentiation. Now, I would tell you differentiation isn't, what is it, Michael Hand? One of these guys, right? My dog's bigger, but he eats less food. You can't do that. You can't differentiate based on a feature and a benefit. It's never going to happen. Doesn't work. So you got to have real meat. You got to have outcomes. You got to have measurable performance. You got to put your money where your mouth is.
You got to work on communication skills. I mean, understanding, which I probably don't do a well enough job of on the employer side, and I've lost my patience. I used to be a lot better at it, but is understanding the communication style of the prospect you're talking to. Now, talking to advisors, we're very the same and similar. So most will get the conversation we're having. Plus, I have so many brokers that we speak to. I don't have to be nice and kiss ass. I can call them out, either full of shit or you're not. We're taking the next step or we're not. If not, don't waste my time. You're a dime a dozen until you're sending me opportunities and we're talking here. Then you get the value, marketing, so on and so forth. So when you have enough prospects, you can be that way in the meeting, and it comes across that way, and you can start telling them no. Paul told me the other day some of the stuff when they asked. He goes, no, we're not.
The takeaway is so important. I can't tell you how many of you guys that I talk to, you guys are afraid of your own clients. You're afraid of your prospects. You got to stop doing that. You got to tell them, this is how it is. This is how it works. There's opportunities in a sales cycle where you have to gain control. And so you have to be willing to take that step, even if it makes you a little uncomfortable, to get little micro decisions where they do what you ask them to do. And so the thing I run into all the time, John, we've talked about it many times on the shows, is asking for referrals. Prospects love and brokers love to prematurely ask for referrals. I was on a call with one of the big houses this morning, 3 initials. No. And then explained, here's why. I'm not going to waste my client's time. It's way too premature. And by the time I got done explaining it, the guy was like, that makes perfect sense. I like that. Okay. I got no problem with that. And so we just tabled it, right? I got a group that I started talking to last June and December. There was, a typical big company. We don't have enough bandwidth, COVID. Okay. Yep. Whatever. I'm patient. Asking me for all sorts of referrals in December. I teased them with we can get the mayor of this city and we can do this and we can, here's 3 or 4 ideas for you. How about a congressman? Used to be a broker, sold our product, great. Well, here it is, January 4th, we resume our conversations. I have the opportunity to find out a little more information about them. Turns out we both have engaged the same firm for a particular service. And when I laid that on them, I teed it up and they said, oh God, we had such a great experience with this company. I said, I'm pretty sure I heard what you said, but can you repeat who you said you used? Oh, well, gosh, you're going to love this because we've retained them too. And guess what happened? Instant credibility. If you use a best in breed solution provider like that, then we're in. There goes the request for testimonials, not needed. And so you got to learn to push back. You got to learn to control the things you can control.
It's like one of those automatic blocks that they put up like on a cold call. Give me this or that. And it's just a little wall that you got to go over. So their instinct always is, especially on a push off, is, just send me some references or send me some. It's the same thing as
send me some info. That's a classic.
Yeah. So it's just, again, it's just an objection that you have to push out of the way and say that's just extremely premature. In our process, we're happy to provide references later in the later stages when you're ready to pull that trigger. And the next thing you need is a reference to verify the solution that we're talking about. But I think it's just a little early.
Nobody has a problem with it. I've never had any. Well, no, that's not true. Maybe 4 years ago, right? I wasn't as skilled in my denial of that, and I had one person, but she was 75, so we have to discount that because there's not a lot of 75-year-old HR people, and so she was bitter about the fact after a 15-minute phone call, I wouldn't give her 3 references. So I didn't care because I have lots of prospects, so it's easy for me to say next, but. Bigger point for everybody is, figure out what you can control. Can we control Biden care and whatever they're going to do? No. Can we control the economy? Tax rates? No. Can we control our competitors? No. But we can control what we spend our money on, what we invest in, what we put into our mind, what kind of training we participate in, and whether or not we do marketing. That we can control. What size companies we prospect. You get to decide that. You can stay in the rabbit goldfish bowl, but understand you will always be a small goldfish. If you have a $300,000 book and you're prospecting 8,000 to 12,000 commission groups, you can only grow so fast. So go upstream and try it. You'll like it.
See if I can share the screen here. All right. No.
What you got there?
Showing too much. Hold on. I was trying, never mind. See if I can get this to work. Share screen. All right. There we go. That's where we're going right now, fellas. Little DJ action. Laguna Beach.
That's your show tonight.
Laguna Beach. There we go. That's where we're headed. But I got to go. With that being said, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll try to see you next week. I'm going to be out and about running around next week, but we'll try to make it happen. Guys, got questions? Give us a holler. You know where to reach us, john@virtuealliance.com. We will see you next week. Same place, same time here. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for joining us. Talk soon.
Be good.